Today we're gonna check out the new Nike limited runs. So basically now the MLB has 3 tiers, just like the NFL, where they have a replica version, which is this one. This one's last year. Then we have the new Nike limited runs, and then the new Nike elite runs. And we've been getting a lot of bad news about this. And I'm normally a huge Nike fan, but these right here are not it. Right now I have the Nike limited run in hand. So I'm gonna show you guys what's changed, how they built it, and just all the things that you need to know before you start purchasing this $175 jersey. Is it even worth it? Should you even buy it? Hopefully this will help you decide. When we break down the jersey and you end up not buying it and I save you 200 bucks to avoid it, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell so when I drop new videos like this, when we check out new stuff that drop, you don't miss out. The jersey that I'm wearing right now is a Ronald Acuna jersey, a Nike replica run that runs for 135 bucks. This is their upgraded version, upgraded for $175. $40 increase is crazy. Besides that steep price, they also built it a little different than they usually do. So they scrapped the old template and put in a new template for these jerseys and the authentic runs, which they call Nike Elite runs. Last year, they actually unveiled this type of build with the All-Star jerseys, but you couldn't really tell the differences just because both jerseys were so colorful. But when you have these home jerseys, you can really see what's changed. And this is what Commissioner Rob Manfred said about these Nike jerseys. They said they were extensively tested and players liked it, and they went with a more performance-driven kind of build. I don't know why they didn't just use the old template, but just make the fabrics more performance-driven instead of scrapping the template. But look at this. Right off the bat, looking at the back, you could see that MLB logo used to be up here. So it's a little lower underneath the collar, which I think looks ugly. Besides that eyesore, let's just go over the details. So right here we got the back of the jersey, and so each team's gonna be built a little different. They all have their little variations, but we're checking out this one today. You can see right here, there's an actual kind of like rib collar, just like the Nike Swingman jerseys, if you know basketball jerseys. So they add a collar, then you see that polyester that runs through. I feel like it's a little lower compared to the one that I'm wearing right now, but I'll do a comparison video in the future. Same polyester piece, but it runs down. But the real difference right here is the MLB Batterman logo. So that is actually, on the old runs, they would sit up here, which looked nice. So you had like the collar and then it sits right here. Now it's lower, which kind of looks off to me. And they changed the material on this. So right here, it's like a twill material, just like the NBA Swingman jerseys or other Nike replica runs. So this material and this, pretty much the same. And that's gonna be heat pressed on. The Nike replicas that I have right now that I'm wearing was stitched down and had like some textured fabric. So they went with the heat press on this. Then you go to Acuna Jr. So you can see the name has a little more curvature to the script. So it used to be a little more kind of like, a little more straightened out. This one has a little more curve, kind of like the basketball jerseys. I don't mind it, but it looks kind of off. And then you have your heat pressed twill material. And what I don't like that they did was on the old runs, like these Nike replicas that I'm wearing, they had like faux stitching. So it made it look like there was a little more detail. It looked like they were stitching. They just went with the solid color. So already not liking that. And then you got number 13, same material as everything else. They got rid of the faux stitching on these Nike limited runs. So it wasn't actually stitched. It just looked like there was like stitching on it. It just gave it a little more design element. And then on the sleeves, they actually add a collar. So pretty much like this, they add a collar on the actual collar and on the arm openings right here. So rib material. Before they would just let this run all the way down and then they would like throw a polyester piece to change the design or color. And I feel like this is not like pure white, the base. This is like a little off kind of creamish white. That's a little ugly. That doesn't look right. It's like off-white. It's not pure, just the color white. It's like a little off color. Then right here, we got the front of the jersey. So what I noticed off the back compared to the jersey that I'm wearing right now, they actually, the script and the tomahawk is a little smaller. And I noticed it on the back with the lettering. It's smaller than what I'm wearing right now. Like I said, every team might have a different template, but it's a little more condensed. And then now, instead of a heat pressed logo, they actually embroider it, which I'll give that's one positive. And of course they want this embroidered because they don't want that ever falling off. Pretty much the same polyester that runs down. You got your collar up front. I don't know how to feel about this collar. I actually don't like it personally. It just looks weird, maybe because it's different, but it just doesn't look right to me. Then you got pretty much the same tags, heat pressed. They did upgrade this piece because they went with like a twill material, so it feels pretty much like the lettering and numbering, and it's heat pressed on. The old ones felt like it was like a sticker. Pretty much the same stuff. Man, and it's off-white. The base is a little different. Feels like it's a little lighter and a little stretchier. But I did notice when it comes to the logo in the front, so just like the Nike replica runs, they have like stitching on the actual twill, but it's not attached to the jersey. So it's like faux stitching, but it has actual stitching, but it's not actually attached to the jersey. So they kept that feature, and the twill material on this feels a little lighter. What they're trying to do is do performance based, but as a fan, I kind of want it to be a little more sturdy. So definitely went lighter with this material here. When we flip it inside out, you can see you got the wash tag, still sits in here, and then you can see how nothing is actually stitched down. You can see the outline of where it's heat pressed, but it's not actually stitched down. And when we bring it to the front side, you can see the only thing that is actually stitched down to the jersey is, or embroidered down, is this Nike logo, and then that polyester piece is actually stitched down. You can see the outline here. Like I showed you, it looks like there was stitching, and it felt like there was stitching, but it actually doesn't come through and attach to the jersey base. And that is what it looks like inside out. Right here, I'm gonna give you a point of reference. This one's last year's replica model. You can see the font's a little bigger. I like the texture on the twill, a little more thick. And then you got the back, and just notice how the font looks like compared to these new runs. And this is the Nike limited run. So measuring it side by side, pit to pit, this one is a little more form-fitting. It's just maybe an inch difference, but then again, depending on who makes it, there might be little variances here and there, but it feels a little more form-fitting. The material, definitely lighter, stretchy, so I get it what they're doing with performance-based, but as a fan, and we're not gonna be playing on this, I don't need that. If I wanted maybe the Nike Elite run that they're doing, the authentic, the ones that the players wear, maybe I'd get it. You want it breezy and all that stuff, but this one, not so much. Looking at the back, I hate the spacing. I honestly hate it. Maybe I'll get used to the letter curving, but it looks off to me, and I don't like how the Batterman sits right underneath that like polyester. And it just, they had a good template earlier. Why change it? Just upgrade like the material. That's it. If you want to make this lighter, upgrade the material. Don't change the template. It looked good before. I'm not a fan of this right now, so you're gonna be the judge. Here's my final thoughts. So, seeing this in hand, and I got to see a couple more in hand at a physical store, some of the colors that they chose are a little different shades. Like this is not that pure white that I'm wearing like earlier. It's a little off-white, just a slight shade different, which is throwing me off. I don't like how the font is a little smaller and a little more condensed. Those were both size mediums. And then the material twill, I get they're trying to do performance-based, but for me as a collector, I want it a little thick. I want it feeling like it's durable. And then I did like the little collar. I don't mind it. I think that's a nice touch to it. I don't really like care for it before, but just a little upgrade, I guess. Jock tag, instead of feeling like that little plastic, I mean, they did upgrade it technically. Heat pressed, a little more twill material, thick. That's a plus, I guess. But here, I don't know how to feel about this collar up here. I don't know. Maybe it'll take some time to get used to, but I feel like it's unnecessary. I don't think it does anything great for the jersey. Hate the spacing, hate the font size condensed. I hate that even though the Nike replica ones had the faux stitching design where it looks like it's stitched, at least there's some effort to make it, just have it some more dimensions. Like here, they just went with the solid colors. At least they embroidered this for 175 bucks. So probably with tax, shipping, you're getting towards 200 bucks. Is it worth it? If they keep using the old Nike replica runs, I might just run with that instead, because I don't see much of an upgrade, personally, in my opinion, to warrant $40 more. Or after taxes and all that stuff, 50, 60 bucks more. So that's just me. I don't know. I still got to check out the Nike replicas and if they change it and how they change it, because if they made the replicas worse for this new batch, I don't know. Sizing wise, it depends on each person, because some people like the baggier feel, like myself, and some people like the more form-fitting. So it just kind of depends on the person. Right now, I mean, I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks good for sizing, material. That just depends on each person. If you like the thicker material, the replicas from last year felt a little nicer. This one, if you hate when it gets thinner, this might not be for you. And like I said earlier in the video, if you found this helpful, please hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so when I drop new videos, new stuff like this, you might stay away from it, and I just save you some money, right? When Nike had the NBA jerseys, of course, first few runs, not that great. They start tweaking it each year and just fixing it. Hopefully we'll see what they do. If they get enough like bad press, maybe they change it, but if people keep buying it, then it's just my point of view, and as long as they make money, they're good. So let me know what you think about the jersey in the comments, and hey, if you want to grab one of these, I'll have some links in the description, and yeah, peace.